Alrighty, guys, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. This is the first NBM AMA officially with the four founders of NBM NFT Battle Miners. We've got Diablo, we've got Vedmak, who couldn't find a background image, but that's okay, he's with us. We've got Zeemaner as well, the legendary Zeemaner, and we've got the legendary Dennison. Guys, welcome and thank you very, very much for joining. I know that a lot of people in the community are really, really psyched to see you guys.
Dominator.
We've still got that on, and to basically have a chat and to just hear what you guys are thinking about where NBM is at the moment. We've just had Mainsail as well, which, as far as I'm concerned, was a fantastic experience. And what you guys thought of that. I've got some questions here from the community to answer, and yeah, let's just I guess let's just get stuck into it. Let's just start. So basically, aside from a few minor issues, I guess, with the Mainsail, with some packs not opening, can you go into a little bit as to what actually happened during that process of, I think it was the Dominator packs that were just being sent back to the NFT Battle Miners account. What was sort of happening there?
Of course. Vedmak, would you like, or I can present?
Yeah, you do it.
All
You're
right.
better at it.
No problem. So,
Dominator.
we have had issues during the small issues regarding some packs not opening, and I can explain what happened and how it happened. So first of all, by knowing how our pack opening logic works, it determines what card will fall off out of the pack once it opens, and then it pulls this card from the pre-minted pool. And this pre-minted pool have a certain amount of assets of each one. So because that's for the reason because minting the new assets actually takes a minute or two. And when you have a big amount of pack openings at the same time, the pool itself got dried up at some moments, and therefore the packs didn't open, and they just finished unopened on the Battle Miners account. And therefore we had to send them back, and in a later stage, to avoid this issue, we have just widered up the amount of pre-minted assets so the pool don't dry up so quickly.
Ah, okay, all right. So I guess it's pretty much safe to say that when there was such a huge amount of NFTs being essentially matched up from the pool, there would be certain amounts of certain cards, certain levels, certain rarities that would dried up really quickly.
Dominator.
And because the pack itself in the opening process couldn't match up with that particular NFT, that was then just sent straight to your account. Is that right?
Yes.
And then to overcome that issue, you basically made just a much larger amount of those available to avoid that happening again.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, all right, excellent. And I guess overall, though, it was a pretty, it was a pretty quick fix. Like we weren't waiting hours. It was literally probably, I don't know, maybe about 15 minutes to a half an hour. That the process was pretty much fixed, right? It wasn't like it took you guys a long time to establish what was wrong and then sort of to implement something as a fix. I guess you guys really jumped on it really, really quickly, and that's obviously purely just because you guys know the system and you know exactly what was wrong with it.
The only thing that took time was actually sending the assets back. Because we got surprised actually by the amount of openings at the same time. That was the initial issue. That took time because you had to find all the assets that were received, send them back. That's manual process and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that took time. Until this was fixed, we didn't want to proceed. And that was the first night when we actually started with Dominators.
Yep.
And that was already, when we were done with it, it was already 1 a.m. my time. Vedmak was already 2 a.m. and we were already around 16 hours in. So it was definitely making more sense to do it the next day, like was initially planned. Actually, as we announced, 24 hours after the sale finishes, we will start deploying them in the phases.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, enabling the pack openings.
Excellent. And I guess one of the standout things for me, when we're talking about experience anyway, is the process of the opening and the sheer volume that you guys got. So it wasn't the sheer volume that was the issue, because obviously not everything crashed. It was literally just individual issues with regards to the opening part itself, and obviously, as we've discussed, picking from the pool. So is that like, do you guys just have this mega server? Like, how does that? How are you guys able to basically provide for such a huge amount of volume with no issues? We didn't see any crashes or anything like that. It was great.
NBM server is scalable, and Vedmak can tell you more about that in details, as he is more on the technical side of NBM.
Well, actually, it might look like quite a lot of job to do. You process a lot of blocks and sometimes process a lot of requests. But as we're using Node.js and Socket.io technologies, they are quite easy processing this amount of requests, this amount of work. And it will surprise you that even standard PC will be able to handle all this job. You don't need really mega, mega server to handle it like you need for, say, native block reader. You need way higher block processor server. But for this kind of job, it handles quite well.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, that's definitely good to know, because I guess that's also something further on down the track when we have more mini sales or just even access.
Actually, we can handle up to like 4 times more users than right now, and it will work nice.
Excellent. Okay. Oh, that's really good to know. Really good to know. Okay, so I guess I've got some initial questions from me personally, and then I wanted to go into some questions from the community that I've sort of gone through and had a look. And there's some excellent questions from the community. So I guess, aside from the mentioned pack openings that we've just discussed, which was quick, it was fixed very quickly and timely, was there anything else that you guys experienced during the main sale that you didn't account for? Or not really?
I wouldn't. The only thing was, the question was, will it sell off quicker? Will it sell off slower? But we accounted for all the possibilities, and pretty much it was nothing unexpected happened, and we are very satisfied with how everything went. Of course, we are looking always as how we could have avoided some of these sending backpacks, delays and stuff like that. But that's all experience, and we learn from it and we improve for the next time. And what is the most important, how we see it, is actually being able to deliver it, fix it quickly, and move forward.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah, cool.
Actually, for me, it was quite a surprise that a few APIs got we hit a few limits on few APIs. That because of that reason, server couldn't process all the stuff that was planned. And sometimes, like when people buy packs, they didn't go as planned because server system didn't know that this pack already was sent to other user because of the API limited. That was one of the things that I didn't expect.
Right. Okay. Cool. And was that more so of a third party issue rather than issue with the NBM system?
Yeah, the previous amount of requests were quite okay for one API. We had 2 more fallback APIs, and all 3 of them hit the limit because there were too many requests same time. So yeah, I couldn't predict this. I had additional fallback APIs in case of first one stop working, then in case of second one stop working. But in our case, all 3 hit the limit, and it goes circling, trying to request from those APIs, and they just keep returning that right limit.
And I guess that's always going to be the issue, relying on a third-party platform anyway, right? We're sort of at the behest of their best performing logic, I guess, for the service that we use them for. So
yeah, that was one of my fixes. Right in the field, say when I was stop working, I just removed in a few places the API and switched to our database already, because we had all the assets there. this was the initial logic when we didn't have all the assets in our database, but now we can kind of stop using them for most of the time.
Cool, excellent. Okay, and I guess you're referring more to you know, any future mini sales that NBM might hold, you know, further down the track, or for whatever whatever sale, I guess, that you guys are actually going to be holding. You're going to
Dominator.
really try to keep that on your platform, aren't you?
Well, right now we don't plan closest time new sales, as we want to economy to start working, and new assets will be minted through the NFT mining. So
Yeah, okay.
kind of closest month or two, we're not planning new sales.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. No, that's cool. Very good. Very good. So, my next question was, I guess, for everyone, because you know, we sort of want to hear everyone's opinion. Was anyone surprised that you didn't sell out of secured stations and front posts? Was there any sort of, you know, were you guys expecting a complete sellout? Were you guys expecting pretty much exactly what happened? You know, what are your thoughts?
Who will start?
Carl, go. You go.
Okay, so look, it's, you always hope and you know, have high wishes, but in reality this is something that we could have what we've predicted. But of course we were all thinking that it might sell off even quicker. We also were considering that much less will sell and much more we will finish later on in the shop, but therefore we are always preparing the solutions for any outcome. And therefore, when you're ready for whatever happens, nothing goes wrong. That's the key.
That's it. Yeah.
try to have all the things in your hand and be able to go in this certain direction.
Definitely. I personally, I think, you know, I didn't really see that the survival pack sellout was a surprise. I was actually expecting that because they're obviously the entry level for land cards. I wasn't surprised that construction sold out either, because there was a lot of hype about constructions and the fact that you get a construction card. Sorry, Dominator pack, because you get a construction and also a land as well. But I was definitely surprised that there weren't a sellout of the front posts. I thought front posts were a fantastic of fantastic value personally. So that was definitely a surprise for me. But Zeemaner, what about you? Was there any surprises with regards to the you know, not actually selling out of all of the packs? Was that a surprise to you, or did you expect it?
Vedmak, would you like to translate? Because
Oh, sorry.
because Dmitry is not speaking English so well. Maybe can ask him and he can continue in Russian, because we have for sure a lot of Russian.
I can actually answer for him, because he is not that involved in economics and all the game aspects. I can say that he don't even understand half of the game and how it all works.
Okay, all right, no problem. That's okay. Well, I guess in terms of all of the artworks and everything, he's done a fantastic bloody job. I have to say that that's one of the things that I hear a lot from the community, is the level of the artworks is amazing. And for the simple fact that you guys are sort of already predetermining, you know, or sorry, pre-making all of the artworks in 3D, preparing for the metaverse, right? So it's not like you're having to do things multiple times. You've already got those assets created in 3D for when the metaverse is obviously implemented.
Yep. That's the initial plan.
Yeah.
Most of those 3D items will be reused in 3D game later.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can say that most of designers and second developer, they're kind of new to NFT world at all.
Yeah.
So before this project, they didn't know nothing about NFT at all. So
okay,
for them,
interesting.
Everything that's happening here is like very, very new.
Oh, that's pretty cool then. That's pretty
Dominator.
cool. Yeah. And what about you, Vedmak? Going back to the question of you know, not selling out of all of the packs, did any of that surprise you at all, or did you prepare for it? Like, were you prepared for it?
No, we were prepared. We know that like Dominators and survival packs will sell out, but we were kind of 50-50 if other two packs will sell out.
Yeah.
And like we had a low entering point, and kind of even if dominators didn't sell out and survival packs didn't sell out, we still had like the same plan to go on. Like we are here for a long time. We're not going like many other projects, like do something initial, like do the big sale, and then say goodbye, like whatever. No, it's just a starting point. We're planning for a few years ahead. So yeah, right now we understand that market a little bit overflowed because of the big sale, but that was the initial plan. So everybody who wants to enter the game, they can see the roadmap, they can see all the numbers, they can see how it all works, and we're planning to stabilize and constantly grow the economics starting from the initial sale.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, that's very good. And Dennison, same question for you, mate. Were you, what were your expectations with regards to, or did you have any expectations for the Mainsail?
Dennison, do you hear us?
I think Dennison might be.
Dennison, you're
Dominator.
Unmute yourself.
Let me see if I can. I'm going to ask him to unmute. 1 second. Bottom left, click the microphone.
Nope.
All right.
There
Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
There he is.
Sorry. I hooked up to the other monitor, so I'm looking at the other monitor. I didn't realize there was I had to click on the other monitor.
All right. That's okay.
So,
that's all right. No problem.
yeah.
No problem. So yeah, same question for you.
Yeah. So coming back to the Mainsail.
Yeah.
We were working really hard to build up the community in the last 2 months. And the funny thing about the Mainsail, yes, we were prepared in the event that the dominators or the other packs didn't get sold out. But the funny thing, what happened was I actually fell asleep 1 hour into the sale, and I woke up and I DM'd Diablo, and he was like, did you not know what happened? We had to, because I was asking him, he made an announcement with regards to, delaying the pack openings. And I was thinking, why should we delay the pack openings? So he was telling me, did you not know what happened earlier? We were sending packs back. All right, okay. So I was catching up on it. And because I was, the community was asking for pack openings for the construction packs. And I was thinking, yeah, we should let them open, but guys have been working for 16 hours, 18 hours.
Yep.
So I think at the end of the day, it's better to make sure that everything is working out fine and don't rush it.
That's right. Exactly.
So that's my take on the sale. I mean, at the end of the day, we are building something for the long term. So even if it doesn't sell out, it's gonna go into the shop. It's gonna be sold at 2 times, and I would be happy for 2 times. It'll definitely go up to that price anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that your stringent methods, I guess, on multi-accounting and anti-botting definitely helped in terms of reducing the amount of packs that were sold at Mainsail? Do you think that was part of the reason?
I think, yeah, okay, Diablo, you go.
I would like to mention this. For example, we have set these limits. We have set these limits so we don't have someone buying up quickly big portion, big chunks of it, because that would create a rush, and that would create a lot of flippers, bots entering, and so on for quick profits. But what we have had is actually prices on the secondary market during the sale actually being pretty much matched to the amounts, to the values that we were selling them for. And therefore there was no space for any kind of flipping for the most of the duration of the sale.
Correct. That's right.
In a way, we have actually given opportunity to real users to have time to decide, because this was actually the huge marketing for the game as well, because a lot of people actually heard for the first time about NBM, right? So a lot of people had the opportunity to read about it, to check on it and understand it, and therefore decide on themselves, do they want to enter? Because that was the ideal opportunity for them to enter cheap.
Yeah, definitely. being an investor, having the investor role myself, I was obviously extremely, I guess, happy that I could access some of those packs myself initially. But then also afterwards, after Mainsail had sort of concluded, I was still very happy that I could go through, secondary and still purchase stuff that wasn't overly inflated in price. And so, I've sort of gone from what I had essentially budgeted for, which was the amount of tickets that I had, right, and however many packs that equaled, to then obviously digging quite a bit deeper because I realized that, hey, I've actually got access to a lot more that was available to me after on secondary, and I think there was quite a few players that actually took advantage of that as well, which is great. But I definitely do personally think that the whole thing with regards to how strict we are with botters and multi-accounters, I definitely think that attributed to not selling out. But I also don't think that not selling out isn't a bad thing. One of the things that I constantly mention on a lot of my streams for you guys is you guys constantly setting new benchmarks, right? New benchmarks with regards to how you guys are conducting sales, new benchmarks with regards to logic of different mechanics within the game, and all of these different benchmarks that you guys are reaching. I think this is another benchmark where no longer is it now, oh, they didn't sell out, they're not going to be popular. Now it's kind of like, well, they don't need to sell out and they are popular, right? Which is a totally different sort of aspect of looking at a project and how their main sales actually were, whether they were viewed as successful or failures doesn't necessarily mean that they sold out or not. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Sorry, go on.
I agree on the topic that actually, if you see how we have decided to, for example, when we return those assets that didn't sell out, they will be returned at the 200% markup. They will be selling for double the price. So therefore, you also ensure that all the users that invested during the initial sale actually have this profit made, and there is no more no more other new people cannot access anymore at the basic prices that initial investors actually had an opportunity to access for.
Yeah.
And therefore it's a win for the investors. For us, it doesn't matter because it will sell when it sells. The market will determine. It's on us to bring the user base. It's on us to build the additional features for the game. It's on us to make the use cases for the tokens, additional ones, even though we have some level ups and fusing. We have currently also on voting community, because we are constantly listening to the community. We are listening and analyzing the situation, the market, pretty much everything. We are here. And therefore, yes, possibly might work even better if we reduce a little bit the costs of leveling up, for example. And here is the opportunity for community to actually decide. But whatever they will decide, we have already analyzed, and all those solutions are sustainable. The only thing that will make the actual difference is if, for example, it will be too cheap, the more assets will be produced because they will be easier buying them on the market, upgrading them, production of the tokens will be bigger, so the tokens might go down a little bit more. But on the other hand, again, on the other aspect, something else will grow. So it's market will make the price discovery itself. It just takes time because you have to consider that we had this huge supply, that we supplied the markets so huge in a short period of time, and simply it will take some time until
the market needs to settle. Correct. Yeah. Definitely needs to settle. Okay, all right. Now that's really good, guys. So I guess let's move on to some questions from the community. That's why they're here. That's why they're watching. They want you guys to answer some of the questions that they've got. So I guess the first couple of questions are from a community member called Rort. Rort has been around for a good couple of weeks. I've seen him in and out of the server quite often. Now his question is: are you planning on releasing a PvP white paper? And if so, how far away is the release, or is it just going to be an update to the existing roadmap?
I believe that it will be just an update, and it will also be pretty much in the same document. And as you all know, I like to call it roadmap instead of a white paper, because white paper will be once it's completely revealed, completely released about all of the aspects. And we are still in the stage where, as you can see, where so many stuff is coming, and PvP itself. And you've seen also the new update regarding the new targets for the current quarter that just started. In this quarter, we'll by the end of the quarter, we will have also the metaverse map already presented. We have in planned also the card PvP game that was initially announced. We are also planning to start, maybe Vedmak can tell more about where we stand on the timing for the raids and stuff like that we also were talking about unofficially. There is still no mentions on the details on the roadmap, but all the details will be revealed soon.
Excellent.
They are all in the progress currently.
Fantastic. All right, excellent. The second question from Rort is: are there plans to increase the team size with project funds collected from the Mainsail?
Sorry, is the plan to wider the team, or
yeah? So is there are there plans to increase the team size with project funds collected from the Mainsail?
Yes, we are planning to increase the team size. Maybe Vedmak, you wanna tell more about this topic?
Yeah, we're planning to hire at least 2 more developers for work with
Dominator.
because I will be working mostly on the server side, mostly on the whole core logic.
Yep.
So we'll hire at least 2 more developers, maybe 1 or 2 more designers. We'll see how the current designer team will handle the job.
Cool.
And we also will be using quite big amount of the collected the funds for the marketing campaigns, because we're not going to stop on the current amount of community. We're going to grow. There are big markets that we still didn't enter at all, like China is close to the zero, like India. Many Europe countries still don't know about us anything. So yeah, there's still quite a lot of work to do to increase the information about the NFT, the NBM.
Yeah, cool. Okay, all right. So I guess, yeah, flowing on from that question with regards to growing the team, you guys are also going to be spending some of the project funding that you guys have made from Mainsail towards marketing and more exposure, advertising, those sorts of things. And I guess partnerships also are great for exposure, because it sort of exposes you to other communities within the same sort of space too, which is great. So yeah, fantastic. Excellent. Thanks for answering that.
On this as well,
yes,
interruption.
That's okay.
Regarding the partnership program, will also roll out soon. We are in the stage of finalizing the details about it. The second partnership program, as the first one, have already launched, where actually partnership collections can join the pool with the NFTs. You can see also in our roadmap the details, the requirements for joining this pool, where we pretty much have set with the time some minimal entry of $1 per asset. So pretty much we want to avoid that our user base is losing value or just getting something that doesn't have value. It's up to the user who gets it, what he will do with it. But so far shown as a awesome marketing tool, because pretty much whoever gets something interesting from some collection that he was not involved with, normally people go and check this collection and decide if they want to take part in it as well, and other projects and so on. So overall, great marketing tool. And the second partnership pool, the second partnership program for the staking boosts, which we already said that each land will have 3 slots. In maximum, you can boost your production 10%. So that means 3.33% per one partner asset. And this program will be announced in very soon.
Okay, very soon. I like the sound of that. Excellent.
Because this is one of the first things that we are looking at the moment. So
awesome. Okay, so I've got some questions from Rapid Raging Gamer. or Rapid Raging Miner, who is one of the mods and a fairly avid player as well. So his question is, I guess something similar to what I was asking before with regards to the PvP release and the 3D metaverse. So, do you have any concrete plans for after PvP with regards to the metaverse? Is PvP going to be released as a 3D version, or will it be sort of worked? Will it be released as a 2D version and then sort of worked in and then built up to a 3D version? How's the transition for PvP going to work with the metaverse?
Vedmak, would you like to
answer it?
Yeah.
First, we're planning to do the basic logic, PvP logic, like it will be as a 2D card game. This is the very first PvP aspect of the game, as we're planned and stated from the very beginning that the very first PvP game would be a card game. So all our NFTs, active cards, would be used in this PvP game. There will be tournaments, 1v1 battles, alliances battles, and this part planned for this year. So this will be a beta, PvP beta. After that, we're planning the second one. Second part is a raiding. That's where like more 3D game aspect will come.
Okay.
So our metaverse would look like a solar system. All our lands would actually be on actual planets all over the solar systems, and there would be a few HQs, headquarters, where users will have their bases, like main base, and what they will be sending the mining operation, they will actually fly through the solar system. So
okay. Yep.
Right now, like we have it all instant, but with maintenance logic added, it will take a fixed amount of time, 20 minutes to start the mining operation and 20 minutes to finish it. It all planned to be able to later be added on the metaverse map. So all the mining operation will be actually like a unit flying through the metaverse, like through the solar system. And raiding will work that anybody can, like raiders can intercept them while they like go into the mining operation or going back. So this is going to be the second way of PvP gaming.
Okay. That adds in multiple interesting dynamics, I guess. If you're, I guess if you're traveling from your headquarters through to your mine and you can get intercepted,
Yes.
that definitely adds a whole other dynamic for both either the attacker or the player being attacked. So yeah, no, that all sounds really, really good. And so I guess with regards to PvP, that's where the energy is going to come into it. Is that correct, or is the energy also related to, I guess, the distance being able to travel in the metaverse, or like how does the energy come into it?
In card game, energy would be as one of the stats. So like will be revealed later with all the numbers. But energy will affect how good this card in PvP like for a long time. So the lower the energy, the stronger the card will be like for a long time battles.
Okay.
And in raiding logic, energy would be used as well. Right now, energy will be used in mining as well. So the lower the energy, the cheaper it will be to repair the card. So
okay. Yep.
cards with zero energy would be almost like free to repair. That's why they're kind of better than those that have positive energy.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and later in game, the energy would be used in raiding. It will be used as a full source. Like the higher the energy amount, the more fusion you will have to use to do the raiding.
Right.
So
okay.
The lower the energy, the less you will have to spend resources to do the actual raiding.
Okay. All right. And how do you gain energy? Is that just something that you gain over X amount of time, or do you have to buy energy?
No,
with resources?
there won't be any like energy like per user or stuff like that. No, it's energy static for each card, and it will just be used in all calculations.
Okay, all right, yeah. So it's a static amount per NFT, and based on that amount, will determine how much it costs or how powerful it is. Yeah. Okay, cool, awesome. All right, that sounds really good. So I guess the next question is from Showrun. Showrun says, how will the PvP mechanism work? Will it be based on the stats of the card, or will RNG come into play somewhere? And also, what will be the rewards? Are they just going to be NFTs? Are they going to be resources? Is there something else as well on the cards that might come into the rewards?
In card game, there will be like tournaments, and top players would be rewarded with NFTs. So there will be like small daily tournaments for something not very expensive, like weekly tournaments and monthly tournaments. So those who on the tops will get really good reward. About the question if stats, it will be totally based on card stats. So there would be a random part on it, like critical damage and stuff like that.
Okay.
But mostly it dependent on the card stats and user strategy that he uses.
Very strategical game you can expect. Something that you really have to, think about. It's not something boring. Okay, I place one card and you place one card and my card is stronger, I win. It's a little bit of thinking, and pretty much we're looking into turn-based thing, and it's gonna be interesting. I wouldn't like to talk too much until we decide to put it out there and present in more details.
Yeah, no, listen, I think what you guys have said already is sort of pretty exciting anyway. I guess I didn't really have a view as to what I thought a PvP card, a PvP NFT card game would even look like and how the mechanics would work. If we're talking, other card games in real life, it's all about the card, right? There's no other factors that determine whether that card is stronger or weaker except the card itself and the statistics on that card. So I imagine that would be obviously the same reason, but to be able to have, I guess, a whole different multifaceted sort of aspect of the mechanics where you really have to strategize and think about is definitely something that definitely sounds it sounds appealing. Definitely sounds appealing. Alrighty, guys. So the next couple of questions are from our very own Dr. Margelis. He's the NBM mad scientist. But this has also been raised with a couple of other community members as well that I've seen over the past couple of days, since we've actually, most of us have all got, 100% of our mining operations up and running. And so we all know how much we're going to be making and how expensive and cost effective things are. And so I guess we've recently just had a vote going up into the Discord, which was posted just previously. And I'm sure everyone that's watching right now would know what I'm referring to. But I still want to ask the questions, though, because I still want to see what you guys are sort of thinking with regards to it. So Dr. Margelis' first question is, will the cost of upgrading or leveling up cards stay the same? And are you contemplating revising the costs or requirements?
Vedmak, would you like to answer, or should I?
Okay, I can. As you see, we already started the voting, so part of the question already answered.
Yeah.
And our state that if you see that many users complaining about some aspect of the economic or the game, or like somebody write that like this is we don't like how this works, we always can easily adapt. And most of the economic aspects like questions, something that will affect economics in big amount like this, like fuel level and up, we will be doing only using the voting system. So if community agrees that this is the good thing, okay, we will change it. But at some point, if I think that this is good and we ask community and I see that nobody likes it, then we won't do it, because like it will affect economics and people won't like this change. That's why like yes, changes would be constant changes, and but most of them would be community-driven changes. So if community think that this is a good thing to do, then we will do it.
Okay. All right. And I
And
think
of
that's
course, we're to mention how the voting works.
yes.
So, for example, there is no scare that that we will have 1,000 users that have no idea about the game, and they placing 1,000 votes and outvoting one person that is maybe the most invested person in NBM. Therefore, it's based on the cards, the assets of NBM that you have in your possession in your wallet. So if you have, let's say, 10 ultimate cards, I don't know how many of something, your votes worth more because you are involved in this game more than the one person that just came in and maybe have 0 assets or have one common level, one active card, just example wise. So what we are respecting is the votes from the players that are the most involved. And what is the most important thing, we strongly believe that those players that are already involved heavily in NBM, they do understand logic, because they wouldn't be whales if they would be stupid, let's say this way, if you understand what I mean. All of these stronger players that have a lot of assets, they know very well how certain aspects can affect the economical situation, and they can predict and evaluate for themselves what they really think is the best. And this kind of way of voting will determine real opinion of the community. That's how we see.
And I guess also, you know, the options that you guys have put forward as, you know, being able to be voted on, such as, you know, the reduction by 50% or 75%, etc. You guys have obviously had a long think about that, and you guys have done the calculations. So it doesn't matter really what is chosen. All of the options are going to be viable anyway. It really just comes down to what the majority or what the community wants, essentially, which is the most important thing here. So, you know, you guys aren't really sacrificing the longevity of the game by providing, you know, if 75% is voted, that's fine, 75% it is, but that's not necessarily going to ruin the tokenomics further down the road anyway, which is great. And so, yeah, I think that's really important for us to be able to just to point that out for some community members who might feel a little bit disheartened or at least, you know, think that maybe the votes have been swayed by the minority versus the people that are more invested in the game. It all sort of works out quite evenly when you use the point system for that voting system anyway. So that's good, very good. The second question from Dr. Margellis is, with the current leveling up logic, so not the pure leveling up, but the other one, what happens to the 2 NFTs that are used to level up the cards? So I know there was something mentioned in the roadmap with regards to one is burnt and one is leveled up. Is that correct?
2 are burned, 1 new is minted up.
Okay,
so
all right, yep.
2 are removed, 1 new coming,
right.
1 new
okay.
minted.
Okay, cool. All right. And is that going to be a mechanic that you guys are going to maintain? Because I do know I have spoken to some community members, and I guess what they're more concerned about is initial value, right? So let's just say we have a rare level 2, or we've got 2. We've got a rare level 2 and a rare level 1. The rare level 1 has an RESM of, let's say, 2, and the level 2 has an RESM of 3. That's a total of 5, right? When you're using both of them individually on a piece of land. Now, if you were to burn one of them and to keep the if you were to burn both of them and to then get issued a level 3, unless that was sort of going to be, or unless it was going to have an RESM of 5, a lot of community members are sort of wondering where's the initial value in losing 5 RESM to gain only 3 or 4, even if the card is 1 level higher. Can you go into that a little bit?
So, for example, when you look at the low values of the low tier cards, for example, common level ones, and I guess all of you know the formula that is used to determine the mining production and also NFT mining. So you can see how the stuff actually multiplies. It's not only about summarizing 2 + 3, it's about the multiplying. And when you have a proper setup, when you have a card, for example, land that is upgraded and so on, multiplied by placing 4 constructions that are again leveled up, the numbers, the total production can outperform 150 lands that are, you know, low valued. So it's your choice. You can choose, yeah. You can choose to actually have 150 lands and mine on each a little bit, or you can choose the path which will in long term bring you more, because once you level them up and you set your mining operation properly, you can make huge amounts of resources in comparison to someone who is making a little bit on every land.
Okay, all right.
And therefore, when the market realizes that actually the leveling up and upgrading is a good thing, then automatically you will see also the climb of the lands will start disappearing, these common level ones, because they will people will start to use them and level them up. Because for example, as well, constructions. Okay, someone can ask, okay, the one construction is costing, taking random numbers, $1,000, another one is costing $500, and I need to burn both to get one that is, for example, not that much more expensive or risky or whatever. But when you take this number multiplying to other numbers that are used in certain operation, you will see that how much actually it can boost your production. Also, I've seen a lot of questions where people were confused. Okay, I'm leveling up and it's so hard, and then I lose 2 resource mining. For example, for construction today, in particular, I saw in the chat, you have to know that if you got 2 slots, you can place 2 more active cards with a high resource mining. You might not have them at the moment, but the whole point is building your portfolio and you know, leveling up your cards to maximize this production in the long run. Because as we said, we are not here for 1 month. You don't need to expect to make ×5 in 1 month and NBM is done in 1 month. We are here for a long run. You will have to hang out with us for many years, guys.
That's the goal, I guess, isn't it? That's definitely the goal. So I guess the bottom line.
It's actually one thing. One thing
sorry,
that I wanted to say, like those who came from Upland, those users who know how Upland works, they can see a big difference between like how Upland works and how most of the Wax projects works.
Yeah.
Because in Upland, you plan long term, you invest long term, and it pays up. And but in latest like half a year of new projects on the Wax, you can see that they all like have a system of rug pull. So they came in, they just pump prices to the sky. Like 1-2 months, they go to nothing. Like they drop to coin to nothing. And initially we are planning to go Upland way. We are planning long term. So people who invest like in NBM now, they will still have same prices on their assets, at least same prices or higher, plus all the minings that they get through the period of time. That's the main economical aspects that we are aiming for. But as I see, many users want like fast profit, fast enter, fast profit, exit. That's the Wax reality right now. That's where we are adapting and doing the voting for community to balance this this aspect right now. Though my personal opinion that I would still aim for like higher leveling up prices. So in long term, the assets value, the tokens values still have the same like high value, not going like up and down very fast.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess that's one of the aspects as well, because like, you know, one of the it's on your Facebook page, it's on your, you know, it's on your Telegram, it's on the NBM Discord, is that you guys have evaluated the projects not just within the wax space, but also other blockchain games as well. And obviously, you guys are obviously gamers too, as much as the community is as well. I know Dennison's definitely a gamer, and you guys have observed some of the pitfalls of some of the games and how you can improve on those. And I guess it's not just the mechanics of how the game is played, but it's also how it's viewed in terms of its value as well and its longevity of that value. So, I guess a lot of the community sort of need to remember that. Again, yeah, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a game that is here for a long time, and for it to be here for a long time, it needs to have sound tokenomics. It has to have a sound team. It has to have sound game mechanics as well and logic. So I guess that's one thing that we should definitely remind some in the community that might be complaining now, saying that things are too expensive. Well, in 6 months to a year's time, you might not be in the same position, and it might not be expensive for you anymore. So I think that's definitely worth reminding and remembering. So next question that I've got for you guys is from Chris 2021. He's got two questions. The first one is, does the team have any plans to increase the current price of the NBM NFT? So I think he's talking in terms of active cards, construction cards, land cards. Is there anything in terms of that you guys are thinking initially to raise the price of those, or are you guys just waiting for the market to settle and then obviously with demand the market to come back up again?
Well, at this stage, we are with our sale have finished. So now we are not determining the price other than just hiring up. Once we list those unsold items into the shop, they will be listed at 200%.
Yep.
And therefore, you already can see that we have hired the step of entry, therefore protecting the initial investment of the investors that bought during the initial sale, and therefore also hiring the entry level for the newcomers a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, market is the one who will determine. And I'm quite positive actually by seeing the current prices I can see on the secondary market. The active card promo packs are currently at $30, while we were nominally selling them through the mini sales, if you remember, $10, and they were priced in this kind of way. Survival packs, I can check right away. Currently, cheapest is $36. That's $20 was the selling point for us. So it's almost nearing 200%. Let's see the Secured Station. I'm guessing having a little bit slower growth since it didn't sell out, but as we can see, it was sold by us for $50. It's currently around $70 on the secondary market. Front Post at the moment is doing $124, also very slow growth, but that's logical because there was so much unsold. And Dominators that sold out, and they are currently at $311, while we were selling them at $200. And also, what is worth to mention, that people are slowly starting to realize what is the real value of the construction cards. If you remember the test mini sales, when we were, for the first time, we announced that it was $100 for construction pack and $100 for the front post. And many people were telling, okay, that's a nonsense. How one card can be same price as I get the whole front post, I get land with good dropping rates, I get 3 more active card promo packs, and against just the construction. But we were telling from the very beginning and through the roadmap and so on, it's very important. The most important card in NBM is construction, because that's the one which can make a huge difference and huge impact on your production. And therefore, you can already see how market is realizing it. And currently, the cheapest construction card pack on the market is around $206.
Yep.
And I'm sure that many people actually realized about it, and they are buying them up or already bought them up. So yeah. Market is covered.
Yeah, definitely. I think there are some investors, obviously, that reached investor status towards the end of promo period as well. And so obviously, they would have had to have invested, quite a bit of money to get that status. And I guess it was the status which enabled them to access the Mainsail packs in the first stage of investor sale, right? And I guess, you know, if we're looking now at what prices are for the simple assets which counted towards the 10, such as a level, you know, a common level 1, you know, active card, is now probably, you know, somewhere around $10 to $15 now on secondary market, which, you know, is down quite a lot from what they would have had to have paid before. But I guess what we need to sort of remember is that you guys obviously didn't determine what secondary prices were for those assets. It was the community, right? And there was, and that's what the community decided, was that it was going to cost about $600 to $700 to be able to get investor status. That's what it sort of topped out at, from what I can remember. And so I guess it's just a reminder that that wasn't the team. That was purely secondary. That's what the community decided was going to be the price for investor status.
That the most of those promo packs, you know, the quantities before. So for example, we have released over 10,000 assets. Out of these 10,000 released assets, I don't know if it was 500 in total sold through the mini sales. Everything else was given away for free.
That's right.
So the market is the one who determined from 0 to the 70. Even I remember one day it was $95, $99 per active card promo pack.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't think that's wrong, because you see that it's climbing again. It's currently at $30, but remember, the initial sale was two days ago finished.
Yeah.
And the market is just starting to grow.
That's
and
right.
How the community will grow, it will pull up the prices again. So I wouldn't say that someone lost. They just have to hodl a little bit longer. That's how I see it, because definitely the prices will grow.
Yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, I don't see an issue with hodling at all. I think it is more so just the initial sort of shock, I guess, after Mainsail, because a lot of people maybe might not have expected the market to dip like it did directly after Mainsail. Maybe they expected that, you know, the NFTs that they were going to be more expensive. But again, I guess, you know, there's a reason why you guys sold as many as you did. There's a reason why as many NFTs ended up on secondary as they did. There's a reason why flippers weren't making any money from secondary as well, which I find absolutely amazing to see, that flippers were actually selling at a loss, and real community members were actually able to buy those up from secondary at less than what it actually cost to buy them from the main sale themselves, which is unheard of in this space. Absolutely unheard of. It's the first time I've ever seen that. And so I guess it's actually a really good opportunity, and everybody sort of needs to see this for what it is. And that is that, again, this is another benchmark that NBM has set, right? For expectations for what could be perceived as a successful main sale. So I guess the next question from Chris 2021 is, are there plans to increase incentives for users to hold their mined resources versus dumping them daily for profits? Do you guys have more plans available? Are you able to discuss those? If not, that's okay. We know you love your surprises. But is there any sort of plans to make resources more valuable to hodl at all?
Vedmak, maybe you would like to talk on this topic.
Yeah, we're planning to increase the amount of, first of all, there will be a maintenance that will come maybe next week, that will take a piece of, that will force the trading between the users. That's the first thing. And other thing, that it will burn a piece of tokens. Second thing, we will add more interesting things into the shop. And we also will reevaluate the prices in the shop at some point. That's the second thing, where the items would go. Third thing, we're planning to our second partnership program, the staking program. It will include additional logic with partners adding their partnership assets into our shop that can be bought with tokens as well. So those assets that you will be able to use in the mining, that will give additional bonus to staking, you will be able to buy them from NBM shop with the tokens as well.
Okay.
Next one is Diablo idea with real world assets. You can say more about it, Carl.
Of course, and I'm also looking into this idea of the real life merge or real life, real life stuff. This is a very wide topic that can start initially as a test run with we can say simply, I wouldn't like to even specify, but you can imagine as merch, maybe t-shirt, maybe a hat or something, but that's just let's say testing waters. Is it maybe a puzzle with some NBM art on it and stuff like that, where you will actually purchase the certain NFT only by using tokens and combination with VAX being covering the cost of production and cost of delivery, while a small premium is paid and provided as a additional burning mechanism for the tokens. And what all can be in this kind of shop is very wide. We just need to determine how it will work, how it will show out, and if it works well, we can always widen the repertoire of the things that can be bought from the shop itself.
Interesting. Okay. Alrighty. So I guess there's quite a few different incentives for people to hodl their resources at the moment instead of dumping. I guess being a player myself and not sort of only just having set up my operations, I don't really want to dump them just yet because I don't know how valuable they really are. And so I guess it's sort of incentive enough to know that things are definitely on the way. But I guess we obviously can't stop the dumping if that's what people choose to do. But all we can do is provide some things in a little bit down the road that will hopefully make them hold them and increase the value for everyone, which would be awesome. Yeah, awesome, very good. So the next question, guys, is from Mirage, and their question says, are there any plans for an NFT Battle Miners app? So whether that be a desktop app or whether it be a mobile app, is there any plans sort of, later on down the track for something like that? Or is it just going to be sort of an internet-based game?
Well, if it will be an app, but it will be internet-based.
Okay.
App.
Well, sorry,
you can't,
in your browser, I mean. Yeah. Kind of like Upland.
Yeah, we're building it with React technologies, and it's quite easy to use React Native to make an app from it. So it kind of wraps around the browser, what you see in browser, and make an app from it. And so we're going to use this technology to quite easily to adapt our application for the Android and iOS application.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah,
right.
There's definitely down the road.
Excellent. Alrighty. And so I guess a question personally that I've just really thought of is obviously when we're thinking about metaverse, we're thinking about a lot of detail, especially when it comes to a screen. So if you're on PC or you're on a laptop, I guess obviously the higher the resolution, the more detail you can see when you're zoomed out. But on a mobile phone, if you're looking on a much smaller screen, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to work things out. So I think, this particular question from this particular community member was more so aimed, I guess, at a mobile app. But then again, I guess, you've just answered it. So it's going to end up being inside of a browser, which is cool. As long as it works. Alrighty,
yeah,
guys.
it works. You won't notice the difference.
Yeah, perfect.
So many applications use this technology, and you won't even say that it's a browser game. It's a browser-based application.
Okay, all right. Oh, very good. Good to hear. Munch Miner has an answer. A question for you guys. It says, can you share the timeline for partner NFT boosts and which partner NFTs we will be able to use for boosting? Is that something that you guys are happy to discuss?
First, what will come is actually all the details on how this pool program will actually work.
Mm-hmm.
And when this comes out, then starts the negotiations with the partners. So it's not something that will come out tomorrow, but this is something that will definitely come soon.
Okay. Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah,
and so,
I think around 2 weeks for partnership.
2 weeks.
After first go in maintenance, then after that is going partnership pool logic.
Okay, and have you guys, in terms of choosing whether an NFT from a particular partner actually provides boost or whether it doesn't? Because obviously we're able to mine both of them, right? So we're able to mine the NFTs from partners that don't provide boost, but we can also mine the ones that do provide boost. Is there a certain requirement that you guys have gone through to pick and choose which ones will be boosted and which ones won't be?
So requirements will be publicly known, just like requirements for the first partnership program are publicly known in our roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
The same way we will have different requirements for this staking program, which is not necessarily interconnected. You could have someone who you could have a collection boosting, but not necessarily be in the partnership pool. That can happen. Can happen that you can in partnership pool, the pool where what is dropping down through mining might at all not be stakeable at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Different combinations, and it all will be determined during the negotiations with the partners, actually providing them, and they will decide if they want to join this second program as well, or they don't want to join. So far, we have even given a draft to some of the partners to take a look at it, and so far feedback was okay, it sounds cool, but we are still going through the numbers and running through the stuff before actually.
So I wasn't actually aware that there was two separate sort of requirements. So I guess you've got the initial requirement for just the general partnership pool to be able to mine, whether it be the mining grid or whether it be through your mining operations. So there's those NFTs, and then there's a separate requirement for a separate pool, and that will be for the boosted NFTs.
Yes, because that's two different things. The first one is the marketing tool. First one is a marketing tool where actually the collection gains visibility. Our user base is interacting with this collection. We usually have a channel exchange in the Discords, so they can even explore about it. We follow the announcements of those projects. So a lot of our community once can explore those projects. And that's, let's say, marketing tool, which is also providing what is benefit for NBM and community. It is providing additional value, because that's bringing on top of all the rewards that you would get, you're getting something extra. And by actually having this set limit of $1 per asset as a minimum, that's additional $1 that can drop for our user base, what is actually hiring up the value of the assets itself.
Yeah. Okay.
While on the other side, the other partnership program is utility program, where actually you are giving utility to certain cards of some collection. If you understand what I mean.
Yes.
By utility, you will give the value to this collection.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very, very tricky you have to decide the parameters, which assets, how many of those assets can be, why to provide, and therefore you will provide the value to the collection. It will rise in value, while on the other hand, they will provide a little bit of assets for our shop, where actually we will use as a benefit for additional burning mechanism for tokens and so on. But more details on it, let's wait until everything is finalized and put out there.
Perfect.
That's in short now described how we are looking at it currently.
Perfect. All right, that's really good. I'm happy with that answer. Okay, so I guess we'll move on to the next question. So the next question is from a community member called F4X3. Their question says, will Atomic Hub implement a more useful and specific filter for rarity, type, and levels? Is that something that we can sort of push for, or is that more just something where we've just built a better marketplace than they have, and so users have to use ours?
Vedmak, did you get any answer from the?
Can you repeat the question, because I was.
So
did you get?
Sure. The question was, will Atomic Hub implement a more useful and specific filter for rarity, type, and levels?
Great question. Oh my God. I actually requested again the same question a week ago, and I got an answer today.
Cool.
From support manager Tom. he didn't read the initial question. He didn't read my chat with Fabian before that. And he just said, you can do it yourself. That's all his answer.
Right. Okay.
So I had to answer again that if you read that, you will see that we have a specific template structure, that we don't have a preset preset numbers on templates that reduces amount of templates that we have to create. So if we have right now like 30 active cards, yeah, we have we have 30 templates. With their logic, we will have to like have 25 templates for each card. And it's really a mess to have that amount of templates for like long term.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. And I guess, you know, this was one of the things that I sort of answered a question that was in the Battlegrounds chat, the general chat of the NBM Discord. The same answer was sort of asked, and I sort of said, well, I'm not really sure whether Atomic Hub would want to completely customize something for one specific project when the majority of the projects that are listed on there don't actually require it. You know, and so I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I would like to say one thing.
Sure.
NBM is growing. NBM is growing huge, and they will sooner or later have to realize that by their acts, by their slow acting and other stuff. For example, you can see we performed our initial sale on NFT blocks. I've heard a lot of people asking, how come this happened? And so on. How come Atomic Hub, if they continue being slow, they might not be a number one anymore at some point? Because, you know, there are projects who will outperform them. And
100%.
And you know, other projects will look forward to someone who is more responsive and so on.
That's right.
So let's see what happens. We're that's gonna be completely up to them how they will evolve and how they will work on stuff, because they need us just as we need them, right?
Yep.
Because if there is no collections, if there is no successful collections trading on their market, that's then problem for them as well.
Of
right?
course. I guess you could always, you know, refer to, you know, cryptocurrency exchanges. Before Binance, there was Bittrex, and everyone thought that Bittrex was the best and they had the most liquidity. And then Binance had their ICO. They launched. They started getting more volume. They started listing more, you know, coins that were more requested. And within a very, very short amount of time, Bittrex had lost a majority of the market and Binance had taken over. And I guess this is just a very big reminder that what currently is in the lead of a particular sort of facet of any market with regards to finance or even property, right, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to stay there, because tomorrow the next best thing could come out and it could completely take the floor out from underneath the competition. So with regards to Atomic Hub, they need to either keep up or they're going to get left behind as far as I'm concerned. So that's sort of just a little bit more on what you were saying there. Okay, so thanks for that. I guess the next question is from Tonen. Tonen says, what are the team's plans for marketing and advertising to increase exposure for the project?
We are currently working on the marketing plan, and we are already negotiating and already launching and planning, preparing some influencers, some marketing campaigns, and more details on it will be coming as the stuff comes out, because none of it is from the day one. We are receiving daily at least 10 proposals. Okay, I want to market your product, and then you look. You have to analyze, first of all, does this influencer have actually the real user base, the real, or is it just pumped numbers? Then first of all, if you decide to give it a try with someone, you need to analyze as well that he knows what he talks about, because we had a few examples when someone even reached out and wanted to talk about and then just talking nonsense, have no idea what he's talking about. And the question is, you know, what we actually want, and we want NBM to be presented from the people that really explore the project first. So it takes time for them to, you know, 1-2 days to explore, to understand it first of all. Because if we are just putting in front of someone the paper, okay, repeat this, that's not the reality. We prefer, like we had some very good examples where actually some results were very good, where actually some of those people were really interested in covering NBM because they were interested in playing it, and they were already understanding the point of the point in the structure of the game itself.
Yep.
And also there is a lot of space for the exposure through different platforms that have visibility in different areas that we haven't reached out so far, like for example Chinese market, like Vedmak said so far. And we are looking to explore these areas and to boost the marketing and to be able to present there our product, our game, and so on. So there is definitely space for a huge growth. You can see comparison to, let's say, I would like to compare with, for example, we can see that Farmers World is doing awesome job in the way of growing the community. They are currently, I think the last I have checked, it was they have told that they have like 150,000 users. And when you compare, we are still growing community. In 2 months we have grown from nowhere to 10,000, and yeah, 10,000 in comparison to 150,000 seems like nothing, but you have to compare. We did it in 2 months from nowhere, and compare it with the many projects that are out there trying, and how hard it is actually to gain 10,000 of the real users to cross this benchmark so in so short period of time.
Yeah.
And count that our initial sale was 2 days ago. So this all this growth was made actually during the promo period. And I would like to say that, in my opinion, that was a huge growth for some project that just came out and didn't even have an initial sale, or actually the main part of the project out, and so on. Imagine what will happen when PvP, when the card game comes out, when the users come that are not interested in mining, but they are interested more in the card game. There is a huge opportunity for growth, and we will definitely use it because we want more users, right? And our community wants more users because the market will grow, correct?
Yeah,
so
correct. Exactly.
It's win-win for everyone, and we will definitely push all that we can, but in a smart way. We don't want to kind of let's say do the wrong campaigns to the wrong audiences, or having someone to, for example, to finance some influencers that have no idea what they're talking about, will not provide the correct information, and so on.
Yeah.
So this takes a little bit of time, but we are working on it as well.
Excellent. Very good. Good answer. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so we're down to the last user. This user does have a couple of questions. There's actually 3. And the first one is with regards to renting unused land. So can you explain a little bit more about what players are going to be able to do with either their unused land or spare active cards to mine on unused land? How's this going to work, and roughly when do you think this will be available?
Maybe Vedmak, you want to answer to this question?
Right now it's not a priority, but we're planning to have land renting. So there are 2 ways that we're thinking right now. Like full land renting will be like one specific logic, and slot land renting. So if somebody have like only 2 active cards from 3 slots, he can rent out the last card, and the profits from this rented slot would be divided between the owner of the land and owner of the active cards. And owner would be able to set the rate, like what will be the hourly like percentage of the all mining, what how big the percent owner will be getting back from the mining. So there will be kind of market of low renting percentages, I'd say.
Okay, all right, very good. And so, yeah, I guess the split between the actual mined resources is going to be a 50-50 split between the renter and the landowner. Is that correct?
That's the landowner would be able to choose this percentage. So if somebody's set too high percentage, nobody would want to use it. So there will be a market of this percentages.
Okay, all right.
Renting percentage.
That makes total sense, actually. All right, very good. And roughly, what's the sort of do you have a timeline yet? Is that something that you're willing to share, or not yet?
Planning this year, but it's not a priority right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Planning after the initial PvP logic.
Okay, all right, cool, excellent. Alrighty, well, thanks for answering that. The next one from FanKeys is, does the team have more plans for use cases for the 4 tokens to increase utility and value? So I think we've already discussed that with regards to...
Yeah, we had this question.
Yes. So that's with regards to merchandise. There's also going to be obviously the mechanic that's going to be introduced fairly shortly in about a week's time, which will be the maintenance. So yes, okay, so that's good. That's been answered.
More users in the shop, and also one that I forgot to add. We'll have alliances, like where you can create an alliance, and to create it, you will have to spend tokens, and there would be like inside alliance upgrades for like everybody who joined the ally would have additional bonuses to mining.
Okay, so are you talking in terms of just so for example, when I sign in, it's my wallet, right? And it's an image of my wallet that I've got on the Wax blockchain. Are you talking about an alias that you log in with, or
not alias?
Alliances.
Oh,
alliances like guilds.
Alliances.
Alliances.
I get that. Yes. All right,
yes.
alliances. Okay, cool. All right,
alliances.
So I'm thinking. Okay,
let's repeat a few more times. Alliances.
All right, cool, awesome. And so, I guess speaking further into the alliances, then that'd be pretty cool. And so, obviously, to set up an alliance, you're saying it's going to cost a certain amount of resources to obviously keep that alliance open. But it'll provide extra boosts and extra incentives and stuff like that, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Cool.
For
excellent.
every alliance user who in the alliance, they will have additional boosts to their minings. They will have additional later in raiding. They will be able to create like mining groups, so they can move along as a group. So would be way harder to raid them.
Okay. Yep.
So,
Yep. That makes total sense, actually. All right. Very good. Very good. And I guess, okay, so here's the last question, guys. So the last question is basically with regards to the liquidity on Alcor. So I guess in terms of wanting to sell or wanting to buy resources at the moment, I have had a couple of instances where I've been speaking to some community members and they've been asking me or just basically mentioning that there might not be enough liquidity on Alcor. Is this something that you guys are going to be addressing directly, or are you going to be providing maybe incentives for community members to provide liquidity?
Yes, this or next week we'll plan to add additional logic where daily, maybe weekly, will be additional bonuses and rewards to every liquidity holder.
Sorry, Vedmak, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you. It sounds like the mic might be covered. There we go.
We're planning to add additional rewards to liquidity pool holders for each token. So everybody who holds the liquidity pools on swap liquidity pools on the Alcor, they will be rewarded with additional NFTs and some distribution of new tokens.
Okay, alrighty. Yeah, okay. So I guess that there will be incentives provided to community members who obviously provide liquidity, which is, I guess, one of the more important things that as someone that is mining a certain amount, it would be nice for me to know that I can actually cash out on some of that or even purchase some more if the opportunity presents itself. And to be able to have that liquidity available would be very, very important and very handy for someone like me to be able to do it quickly and efficiently, and obviously not to dump or pump a market either. So that's good, very good. All righty, well, thanks for that, guys. Okay, well, I guess, guys, that's the end of the questions. We have been on for about an hour and a half now. I know that Zeemaner has popped off a little bit. I don't know whether he noticed that we noticed, but we did. But listen, is there was a couple of questions in the chat as well. Most of them were just cheering on Dennison and his shirt, which is good to see. There is a question. There's a couple of questions here. So Petius Papa has said, who is in the top right? The top right is actually Zeemaner. He's our lead designer. So he's the guy that's responsible for designing the crypto servers that are behind me. All the 3D artworks, all of the card artworks and everything. He's directly responsible for that. His English is literally zero that I've been told. I haven't spoken to him directly yet. I've been on a call with him for about 2 hours now. But I'm assuming, listen, he's here and he's present, so that's all that we can really be thankful for. He probably doesn't understand a word that I'm saying, and that's totally okay because his artwork is
Yeah, but he's
absolutely
smiling.
killer.
Look at him. He's smiling.
He knows. He knows.
Very good.
Maybe Vedmak, you would like to tell him that he can a little bit tell about his progress and how he was doing it, and maybe there is someone from the Russian community in the chat as well who would like to ask him some questions about designing processes and stuff like that. So maybe he can simply answer, since he didn't understand maybe us speaking English all the time, but maybe he could speak some Russian to the Russian viewers.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Ukrainian.
Дима говорят, что ты ничего не понимаешь, поэтому давай, скажи хоть что-нибудь.
Не, я понимаю, мне просто сложно говорить на английском, общаться.
Ну, хоть так. So he understands you, but he can't speak with you. It's like a silent.
That's okay. That's right. As long as he can
watch.
understand, all right. That's the main point,
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, I guess one of the main feedback that I've had was just the artworks are amazing. They definitely are the next level up, or at least a couple of levels up. It is definitely a new benchmark that NBM is setting with regards to the quality of the actual artworks compared to a lot of the other projects that are around at the moment. It's a lot more realistic. It's in 3D. It's not 2D. And obviously with the metaverse pegged for release at the start of next year, I think a lot of people are really super excited as to what it's going to look like, right? What's the interface going to look like? How is the gaming interface going to how players are going to be able to interact with it? So I guess it's all in his head. It's all in his head, right? Yeah, which is good to know. At least we're in
we'll come out
good
soon.
hands. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Feel free to upload more backgrounds, Zeemaner. Everyone loves the backgrounds. Alrighty, so I guess there was another question here that I'll sort of see if I can quickly find. Listen, I don't really want to waste too much time having a scroll. It was a little bit further back. We've had some very, very active chatting in the... sorry. So, Real Plasty, not so much a question, but it was an observation. He said, just saying in the Battlegrounds that the summary page I suggested was implemented just now. So I guess Vedmak has been busy uploading updates and things like that while he's been on stream. So I guess, guys...
Yeah, while you were talking, I was doing the job, actually.
There's no stopping you, mate. There's no stopping you. There's no stopping for a stream. It's all in the background, which is great. That's awesome to know that you're still working, mate, even though you can multitask.
Yeah, so everybody can refresh your pages on mining page, and you can see the mining operation summary now.
Oh, look at that. Excellent. So, so if you didn't hear that, guys, you can refresh all of your mining pages, and now all of the... you're going to be able to see some statistics, which would be pretty cool, actually. That'd be awesome to...
Summary.
Yeah, like a summary. Yeah, fantastic. Excellent. All right, guys. Well, listen, I won't keep you any longer. We have been on for over an hour and a half now. I would first of all like to thank everyone here for making the time to join me in answering some community questions. I'm sure there will be other questions that we didn't address today that maybe might come up in the next couple of weeks or so, but I would love to get you guys on again at some other stage to do another AMA, because I think this is a really productive way of being able to communicate to the community, letting you guys know exactly what the community are thinking by collecting all of these questions as well, right? Because that's ultimately what the community is thinking about the project and the questions that they're going to ask you. So it's a great communication tool, and I think we're building a great platform here in terms of the streaming on our Twitch channel as well. And anyone that's watching this that wasn't able to join us live, this will all be on YouTube as well. So I'm going to upload this onto YouTube ASAP once we're done. And guys, this is fantastic. Keep up all the good work, and really excited for what's to come. And I know there's lots of surprises that you guys aren't telling us, and I don't blame you one bit.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No worries, guys. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to play the closing scene now, because we're going to do this very...
Maybe just to remind people to...
Yep.
If you haven't voted, go decide on your decision and go and vote there.
Yes.
Because this is your opportunity to raise your voice and say how you want to proceed regarding the cost of leveling up.
Yes.
So make sure you place your vote if you haven't done that yet.
Yes, definitely, guys. Go and vote. You know, your vote is important no matter how many points that you have. It is still all counted towards the total. And, you know, this is a prime opportunity for each and every single community member to decide which direction this project goes, which is, again, another benchmark. So fantastic. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. And we will continue to be in, you know, contact. You guys are very communicative to the project and to the rest of the community as well. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting the event, and sorry for keeping you so long.
No, that's okay.
Because
It's
quite late, right?
It's all good. No problem whatsoever. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. See you
you,
later.
thank you.
Okay. Bye.